We think we're busy trying to set our goals or make our life better or trying to figure out what to do and come up with all these different practices and disciplines and ideas and knowledge and information on how to improve our life and how to make our way through the world. But we've overlooked and forgotten that we don't actually have the control that we think we do. And there are laws that govern everything. And I think it's only by discovering and uncovering what those laws of nature actually are and starting to use them that we can actually make a real progress in our life rather than fighting against it all the time.
Yes.
Give an example to people watching or listening. It's a little bit like mankind had tried for thousands of years to fly, a simple example. And they tried all of these different techniques, observing birds and, creating wings and jumping off cliffs and hoping and praying that they'd fly. But it was only really until the Wright brothers discovered that there's a law about flying, which is called aerodynamics. And when they started to work on uncovering what aerodynamics actually is and use that law, that's when naturally flying became possible. It's the same with what we're trying to explain to people is we need to understand this energy, this power that's behind everything. And when you do that, you can actually use it rather than fighting against it to do what you're here to do, which is to have the greatest life possible. So what's your comment on that in terms of this expression of life flow force, or what's controlling everything going on?
Well, obviously, Liam, as I'm sure you're very aware of, there's so much to this, which is why we made the program to begin with, right? To simplify the unknowing, to simplify the all-knowing, to simplify the oneness, and a word that I would use is the divinity that's inside of us. And something I would share on what you're saying in regards to this life flow force is that we can release the control by knowing that this power is us, right? Like this law, this force that, yes, we can see externally in nature as a good example, as you described. It is us, but to access it, we have to apply a certain way of understanding it, right? A certain way of moving through some processes that I think for a lot of us, we've forgotten how to access. So an example of this is our thoughts and emotions, right? And we're going to get into this, I'm sure, in a moment here. But as an example in my life, right, I grew up in a very religious context, right? And I put a lot of my thinking power, my belief power, in the understanding that this power that is me is a man on a cloud outside of me. But once I rearranged my belief system, i.e., the thoughts that I kept thinking, and took that external power and started seeing it and thinking about it and believing it to be in me, within me, my reality changed. And my relationship to this life flow force came back to its innate state.